Hi guys, welcome in if you are a first time viewer. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and to those of you who have booked a personal reading with me. Please keep in mind that these are general messages, so do not take them personally. Take the messages that resonate and leave the rest behind. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can find the information in the description box below. So the message I received for today is surrounding the energy that I have been getting for the past few readings, right? Something that is coming in for you is going to have you speechless, right? You're going to be pleasantly surprised by the blessing that is coming in for you. So what message do you have for the collective at this time regarding this message? Help me to articulate a clear and concise message in order for it to be received in the way that you want it to best be received. Help me to see what it is that I need to see to get the message across as clear as possible. And help me to deliver any messages that you deem worthy in order to serve your highest good, for the highest good of humanity with harm to none. What messages do you have for the collective at this time surrounding this energy? I've been obsessed with the combination of these two decks lately. It's giving like dynamic duo. Okay. Abandoned, grounded, and solitary. With neglected at the bottom of the deck. So you could have some dreams deferred that you may have planted the seeds for, but they have not yet, you've kind of like planted the seeds for this dream or this situation or this idea, right? Whatever it is that you are choosing to move forward in, right? Whatever it is has taken root. But it can also be that it has not yet sprouted, right? It has not yet borne fruit. And so it almost seems as if like whatever this is that is coming forward towards you. Again, I'm not going to dig too deep because whatever it is, it's supposed to be a surprise. But this energy did come out. So I wanted to touch on it a little bit just because it was in the frequency. But again, there's like a dreams deferred that is coming true for you, right? So let's pull some tarot to see what comes out. Clarify, abandon. Clarify, abandon. It seems as if you're in this like very independent energy, right? Where you're kind of like focused. You have your mind set on a certain standard. You have certain things going on, right? You are in this place of kind of bringing things into fruition, right? It's almost like a meditative energy, right? Where you're in like the space of kind of receiving guidance, right? This is giving crown chakra energy. Where you're like in a space of receiving guidance, receiving intuition, receiving like certain ideas, receiving certain messages, certain But it definitely feels like you're in a pleasantly like secure place. You've created this place in space of security. You've created this space of groundedness for yourself. You're surrounded by peace, right? You definitely have a sound mind, a sound heart, a sound spirit, right? Where you're not necessarily clouded by any sources of confusion, right? You kind of have a clear space of where you want to go and the actions that you need to take to get there, right? Although you may not be completely sure of where this destination is going to lead you, you're definitely taking action, again, intuitively towards the guidance that you're receiving to achieve some source of goal that you are meant to fulfill, right? Some purpose, some mission that you are embarking on. It also feels like you've been kind of like on this journey alone, right? You've kind of taken I don't want to say taken the back seat, but you have definitely taken a step to the side, right? Where you are not necessarily not seen, but you're very particular, very much more intentional with where you spend your energy and how you spend it, right? Who you allow into your space, what environments you place yourself in, what people you surround yourself with, what conversations you choose to engage in, right? There's definitely a more intentional way of like protecting yourself that you have taken on, right? In order to maintain this sense of groundedness, in order to maintain this sense of peace and security. Clarify, abandon. Okay, so I did a little bit of a pre-shuffle, and these two cards came out in the pre-shuffle, right? I kind of did like a pre-shuffle to see what was in the energy before I turned the camera on, and these two cards came out together. I didn't pull any oracle. I only shuffled the tarot, but those two cards came out together. And this is definitely giving like dreams deferred energy that are coming true, things that are coming to pass, right? This may be an idea or like a business aspect that you have been working on. This could be something, and it could be something like regarding an emotional sense, regarding your emotional intelligence, right? So this can be like some type of artistic expression that you have. This can be like a way of speaking or a way of like counseling or indulging within the emotions that you kind of express, right? But there's definitely a sense of like a business aspect, right? A dream that you have not only set the intention, but you have also taken action, right? You've been working diligently in order to bring a certain passion and a certain desire into life, right? This is not something that you have been sitting on. This is something that you have been actively moving within, right? But it's something that you're like emotionally connected to, right? Because it's almost as if like maybe you carry this heavy, yeah. It's almost as if you like, I don't want to say carry like a heavy burden of emotions, but you feel kind of deeply, right? You're connected to all things. You have some sort of like emotional connection to the things around you, right? And that could be how you are this passion project or this business, right? Or this dream deferred, right? This may be the avenue that you're using to kind of channel this gift or this talent that you have, right? It's something that you feel responsible for, right? Right. Like maybe almost like a therapist in a sense, like a counselor, someone who is, maybe you're just like a writer, an artist of some kind, right? But there's like some sort of like emotional expression surrounding this. You can be like a painter. You can be, it's going to resonate for each of you differently. So take it how it resonates. But there's, like a motivational speaker. You can give like inspiration to others. But whatever it is, it's almost like you kind of help like bring something to life. You kind of help like mold and shape the emotional intelligence and development of those around you, right? Through this avenue, through this business aspect, through this passion project. It's something that you, again, because in the past, in the previous reading, it was something that was, again, like you're the channel, you're the vessel that this gift is coming through, right? So you're being blessed as a way to bless others, right? The blessings that you receive are going to trickle down to everybody who surrounds you, everybody that you come in contact with, right? Even if it's just like a light conversation, right? It's not necessarily the amount of time, but it's the impact that what you serve, like how you again, what you serve, how that impacts other people, right? It's again not the amount of time, it's not the distance, it's not the firmness of the connection, but it's the impact of the connection or the bond that you create with those around you. Because again, you're so emotionally connected, right? You feel things very deeply, right? With the Ten of Wands and the King of Cups, you feel things very deeply, and it's almost as if like you feel some sort of responsibility in order to help others kind of mold and shape their emotional intelligence as well. Because you have so much knowledge surrounding this topic, you have so much understanding, right? There's a depth of knowledge that is surrounding this passion project. Clarify, grounded. The Magician. One more. This also came out in the pre-shuffle. The Seven of Wands. The Magician and the Moon. Now, the Magician and the Moon can sometimes represent like dark magic, right? But that's not necessarily what this feels like. It feels like you're more grounded in a sense, right? Where you are kind of using things to your benefit, right? You are very much in tune with your emotions. You're very much in tune with the subconscious. You're very much in tune with like occultic knowledge. Again, occultic knowledge just means hidden knowledge, something that you have to search for. It's not as easily accessible, right? But there's a wealth of knowledge that you have regarding many facets, right? The Magician knows how to balance multiple resources. Someone who can create something out of nothing, right? Air, water, fire, and earth. Right. So again, there's like you have like a wealth of knowledge surrounding occultic wisdom that, again, is also like another resource of how you are kind of receiving this intuitive guidance, kind of receiving this intuitive. And it's almost as if like you know how to kind of like shape, how to kind of shift the emotions, how to shift the presence in a room, but like more so in like a grounded sense. Like you have a strong hedge of protection around dark forces, right? And I don't want to say dark forces as like something negative, but dark forces as in like a sense of people who come to you with bad intentions, or people who don't wish you well, or or situations or experiences that are kind of placed in in the forefront of you to kind of deter you from your purpose or your mission or what it is that you're trying to accomplish, right? Don't think of like these terms as something that's so like negative. It can really be just like gossip, right? And you are just like choosing to not even like indulge in that. It can be people who, again, don't wish you well, people who try to tell you that you aren't who you think you are, and they try to deter you from achieving the goals, even though you know because you have already achieved what it is that they're saying that you can't, right? And so, again, you have like a really grounded sense, right? It's not like an over egocentric. It's just like a very confident I know who I am. I know the skills that I have. I know that I know how to make a way out of no way, right? I know how to create my own path, right? I'm very emotionally intelligent. I have a various amount of skills, right? You're somebody who doesn't allow other people to place you in a box, right? Because you're not somebody that can be put in a box. You're such a complex individual that there's so many different aspects to you that other people almost don't have a belief that you can be achieving all of these different goals in all of these different areas at the rate and at the time that you're doing it, and to such a magnificent degree, right? Because again, within the previous reading, it said that whatever is coming in for you is coming into much more of a magnitude than what you are able to perceive right now in this moment, right? So you're not even aware of the size of the blessing that is coming in, right? It's not something that, even though you may feel that you may be getting ready to receive a large blessing, you're still not aware of the magnitude in which it's going to come in and the impact that it's going to have on your life, right? And so you may feel as if, again, you're like the standalone, right? The black sheep in a sense, right? Or somebody who kind of had to like fight against other people who, again, tried to tell you you weren't who you are. You were never going to achieve certain things, and you were never going to reach certain levels, right? But that was only because they didn't have the complexity or the ability or the talents or the gifts or the understanding, the depth of knowledge that you have, right? They don't have the resources. They don't have the connection to God, to source, right? That you have. They are not you. So they aren't necessarily able to understand how it is you are progressing, again, in the way that you are. But again, this doesn't seem like it just seems like you're confident. It doesn't seem arrogant, right? Because you're not boastful. You're not putting it in other people's faces. You're just accomplishing and going on about your way, right? And that, in a sense, makes them even more defensive to the power that you have, because, again, they're not understanding how you have so much control over yourself, over your world, over your reality, over your mind, right? Over your emotions, over your boundaries, right? They don't understand how you can maintain such strong boundaries where you are blocking them out, in a sense, from them being able to see how it is that you are growing, right? Because again, this can be people who maybe pretended to be close to you to a certain degree just to kind of receive certain insights that you have, right? Just to kind of watch your potential, just to kind of watch your growth. And you may be setting certain boundaries or blockages that are kind of preventing them from watching your growth, right? And that also as well may be kind of causing a disruption within them, right? Because they're not understanding why you're setting so many firm boundaries around that. Right? Again, this doesn't have to be another person. It can be a connection. It can be certain mindsets. It can be certain habits that you are setting boundaries around, certain standards, right? Again, certain lifestyles, certain environments that you place yourself in, relationships of any kind, right? This is going to resonate for each of you differently. Clarify solitary. But there's a level of growth that you're experiencing that people want to be a witness to. And you may be using your resources to kind of, again, set such firm boundaries that you don't even want them to see, just because of like the energy that they're pouring into it is so negative, so much hate, so much demise, so much, they like almost like despise you for growing in the way that you are. And then for you to have the nerve to not even be able to like let them watch. How dare you change and not let them see your growth? That is funny to me. How dare you, collective? Clarify solitary. Warrior of Wands with the Three of Swords, right? You've overcome so many things. You've overcome like the You've healed in a sense, right? Yeah. So this may be a person, right? The Three of Cups speaks to close relationships that you have a connection with. It can speak to like a sisterhood of some kind, a brotherhood of some kind. But it speaks to close relationships, close bonds and connections that you have with other individuals or other things, other environments, it's something that you felt really bonded and really close to, right? You felt you have built a close connection and a close relationship with whatever this is for you. So maybe it was an environment, maybe it was a lifestyle that you felt emotionally connected to. Maybe it was a mindset, right? Maybe it was a career pathway, right? But there's something that you healed from regarding like making impulsive decisions, right? You don't do things impulsively because you are more mindful of the outcome of impulsive decisions, right? You're more aware of like being intentional with your heart, protecting your emotions, protecting the things that you invest in, right? Emotionally, right? Again, this is like something that can be business related. How can I put it? And look, see, the Seven of Wands is back. The Seven of Wands is back under this Three of Cups. There's something that you have, there's a connection that you have cut off. And whatever it is that you have cut off is not taking it well. They feel very defensive. They feel very attacked by how you are setting such firm boundaries. Right? Because how dare you not maintain this connection, even though it's shallow, right? They're standing in shallow waters. There's no depth, right, to this connection. There's no growth within this connection. There's no pure intention. There's no real love within this, right? It was all hate. It was perceived to be love, right? It was perceived to be something that was supportive. However, it wasn't truly supportive. It was defensive to the support that you were receiving. It was defensive to the level of emotion that you have. It was defensive to the level of intention that you have. It was defensive to the talents and the gifts that you carry, right? It was defensive to whatever it is that you have the ability to create, right? It's almost like keep your enemies close. And that was kind of the connection in reality, right? Where the other party to this connection was really your enemy, but they were perceiving or showing up as something that you were supposed to love, right? Something that you were supposed to connect yourself to or bond yourself to, but there was no real love here. It was jealousy in a sense, because again, they're defensive to everything that you carry. They're defensive to your spirit. They're defensive to your passions, right? They're defensive to the level of healing that you've experienced. They're defensive to the level of growth that you've experienced. And this may be causing them some sort of pain, some sort of heartbreak. They may be feeling abandoned by you, right? Because you're setting such firm boundaries for this connection. You're setting such firm boundaries for this relationship, how you indulge in it, right? You're no longer like engaging, or like you're no longer pretending to not see the fake love. You're no longer pretending to not acknowledge the fact that there's no real support here. There's no depth. There's nowhere to grow from here, right? Because the connection is not real. It doesn't truly exist, right? It's shallow. You perceive or you pretend to love me. You pretend to support me. You pretend to acknowledge my growth and acknowledge the connection that we have as something that is firm and long standing. However, it's not, because the water is shallow. There's no depth. And so because you're setting your boundaries up surrounding this connection, again, this can be like an addiction for you. This can be a lifestyle. This can be friends. This can be certain family. This can be certain past relationships you've had. This can be a career path, right? They're defensive to your growth. They're defensive to your standards, your boundaries, the way that you protect yourself. It doesn't make sense to them because they don't understand how you can really see their true intention when they're not putting it on the forefront. And that's the real message. How can you see my real intention when I'm showing you love? How can you see that I don't really support you when I'm pretending to? Right? What messages? Let's pull 4 cards. 1 card for what we can learn as the major lesson of this message. 1 card for the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. 1 card for what we can meditate on as a focus of this message. And 1 card for the new cycles and habits we can innovate regarding our growth and expansion surrounding this message. All I can say is whatever this is that you're disconnecting yourself from, if you feel as if it's worthy enough to protect your growth, protect your expansion, protect your life, right? Protect your sense of security, then do that. And that's okay. It's okay to live in that space. It's okay to protect yourself from things that really don't have your best interest in mind. You don't have to allow somebody to watch your growth just so that they can hate on it. That's not your responsibility to protect somebody else's emotions. You're protecting your own in this sense. And that's your right. Because they wouldn't do anything but try to tear you down and try to keep you humble in a sense, right? It's their way of keeping you humble. One card for what we can learn as the major lesson. All I can say is they have some healing to do with how the intentions in which they choose to invest in certain connections, right? Why are they choosing to invest in you in such a negative way instead of investing in their own growth? If somebody's investing more time into tearing you down instead of committing to their own growth, that's a problem within itself. 1 card for what we can learn as a major lesson. This message did not come out the way that I thought it was. Good juju, you're protected, harvest. And everything that you're creating within this is protected as well. You're protected because you're setting such firm boundaries, because you're setting such firm standards, right? You're not allowing yourself, again, to indulge in so many negative thought patterns. You're not allowing yourself to indulge in bad habits. You're not allowing yourself to stay stuck in ways that are not conducive to your growth. You're not allowing yourself to indulge in conversations that hold any depth of knowledge, right? Empty conversations are pointless, right? And that's kind of how you carry yourself. That's kind of how you carry your life. Anything that is not fulfilling to you in a way that is not impactful to you, in a way that it is encouraging your growth, in a sense, encouraging your knowledge, encouraging the way of your guidance within your passion, your purpose, your mission, right? You're choosing not to indulge in that. And that is your right, right? That's how you remain protected. That's why you're so protected. Marie Laveau, like, you are blessed and highly favored because you set such firm boundaries about what it is that you choose to indulge in, right? You choose to protect the things that you create, right? Because everybody may not understand. And look at how, like, this image here is on everything. It's on the back of this card, right? It's also on the back of this card. You're protected, right? You're protected by your spirit guides, you're protected by your ancestors, those that have come before you, you're protected by your angels, right? You're protected, you protect yourself, you're protected by God, right? You are heavily protected in more than one way, right? Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. Like, you are blessed. Everything that you create, everything that comes from you is protected in all of these areas as well, because you are so protected, right? And because you are birthing such a abundant legacy in a sense, right? Because we had the Ten of Pentacles come out in the previous reading. There's something that you're creating, something that you're giving life to, right? You're creating a legacy that's meant to not only benefit you, but everybody who comes in contact with you, right? It's the impact that you have on other people's lives, right? Because that is so purposeful, because there's such a strong mission behind what it is that you're creating, there is a need for such strong protection, right? You have many hedges of protection around you, not just one, but an abundance of protection as well. And the more that you create, the more protection you gain, right? Because again, you're not only doing it for things that come from you, you're doing it for your ancestors, the people that came before you, right? You're kind of creating things out of their wishes and their birthrights, right? This is your legacy. This is something that is owed to you from the bloodline that you come from. You're not just doing this for you and the people that come from you. This is your ancestors kind of using you to bring their dreams to life as well. Even though it's something that you desire, it's something that you yearn for, it's also something that they desire. And so they're making sure that you bring this to life, right? Because it's not just you, it's them as well. You're bringing something to life for the people that came before you and the people that come after you and everybody who comes in contact with you around you. Right? That's why there's so much protection around you. That's why there's so many blessings coming in for you, right? Because it's not just something that this blessing is not just for you. It's for your legacy, right? One card for the opportunities we can create surrounding this message. Giving and receiving. One hit the floor. Desire. And creativity. Continue to give birth to this passion. Continue to create within this mission that you feel you should be fulfilling, right? Continue to follow those passionate desires. Continue to follow the mission that you're being guided to in order to bring so much to life, right? Continue to use your creative gifts, your creative talents, right? Your intuitive knowledge, your intuitive guidance, right? Your depth of knowledge, right? Your emotional intelligence. Continue to find ways, again, to bring these passions and desires to life, right? Because again, it's not just about you. And whatever you create is going to continue to generate abundance in your life in more ways than one. There's many purposes aligned within you. There's many missions that you're meant to serve through these creative passions, through these creative pathways, through these creative endeavors, these business endeavors, right? There's many lives that you're meant to touch with what it is that you're bringing to life. So again, keep yourself protected. Keep your eye on the prize, right? Don't allow people who feel rejected by you to allow you to feel guilty for setting a certain standard of life, right? Because that's your birthright. You deserve to have everything that you desire. And you shouldn't feel guilty for protecting yourself from things that are not beneficial to your growth, from things that are only trying to cut you down from being or believing who you are that you say you are, even if they say it in a loving way. Get the fuck out of here. One card for what we can meditate on as the focus of this message. Etheric cords. Wounded healer. Right. It's your legacy. You're healing not just you, But you're healing the dreams and desires and the passions and the emotional traumas, the mental traumas, the experiential traumas, right? Things that your ancestors have experienced, right? You're doing them justice. You're also doing yourself justice for not having to experience these things, for breaking the chains. And you're also doing your legacy, right? Your creation, everything that comes from you, you're doing them justice because, again, you're breaking the chains of things that are no longer conducive to the growth of not only you, but of your legacy, of your bloodline, of everything that comes from you, right? So meditate on who you're doing it for, why you're doing it. What's the purpose? What's the mission? What is it that they want you to serve? What are your ancestors guiding you to serve in this purpose, right? Not to say that you're fulfilling somebody else's dreams, because, again, these are your dreams as well. But how can you do these dreams justice, right? How can you heal certain things that, again, are no longer conducive to the growth of your bloodline, of your legacy, of everything that you create? Again, by cutting ties, by things that try to stunt your growth, right? That came out with the Warrior of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Seven of Wands. Cutting things out that try to stunt your growth. There's no other way to say that. Creating firm boundaries around people, places, things, experiences, habits, addictions that try to prevent you from being everything that you say you are, everything that you're meant to become, right? One card for what the new cycles and habits we can innovate. Grounding. This came out twice. We got the grounding card here, and you got the grounding card here. With celestial alignment, serving your purpose, serving in your mission, remaining focused, creating that sense of safety and security around yourself so that you're able to continue rooting so many things deeply and firmly that they are able to sustain a lifelong sustenance, right? A lifelong born fruit, right? Create such firm roots that the tree, the plant, whatever it is that you choose to grow is lifelong, right? It's everlasting, right? It's an eternal flame. It continues to grow. It never goes out. It's a legacy that lives on well after you're gone, right? Something that lives on through everything that you create for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, right? But that is the message that I have for you guys. I hope that it resonated. I know that if you made it to the end of this video, you have found something in it that is worthy and valuable to you. Please do not forget to hit that like button if you feel that this message resonated with you. Have a good one. Bye.